So I've never done one of these types of walk and talk videos, I guess vlog style or whatever it is. Um, I bought a little gadgets over the years, and one of these little, hold your phone while you talk, and then move around. Never tried it out, so I'm just trying it out this time, and we'll see how it goes. I've been thinking, as a store owner, one of the things that a lot of people like to see and to get information on is, what you're doing with your store, how you started your store, how the store's going, and just the little things that people may not know about, and maybe there's things people want to know about, you know, how your store's doing, um, and how you open the store, and all the paperwork, the contacting government and setting up corporations and getting a lease and that sort of stuff. So I thought I'm gonna make a video like that at some point in time where I discuss those things, maybe several videos. um, but I know what I might want to make a video about, and I would want to ask questions about, if I was starting out again. And I I used to watch a lot of videos from Diriams and of course Rudy, and later Louis over at Kitchen Table TCG, and then of course there's a couple of others, and I'm sorry the name, I'm not remembering the other two names. Mason, whatever his store is, and was it the Pirate Games, or I don't know, that other game store that makes videos, and they all make really great videos, and they all have a different perspective on running a game store. And I'd say Louis and I probably have the most similar perspective, because he only recently started his game store, and it was small to start off with as well, much like mine is very tiny. I assume the reason he did that also was to have a lower overhead, and I'm looking to expansion, and it's good to see that Louis was able to expand into a regular sized game store, and he's doing quite well because he's really great at promoting his game store and creating content for people and making people feel like they're part of his community and that sort of stuff. Plus, he does a hell of a lot of work, and they joke on his podcast about being the largest sorcery content creator. And while Mike Cervetti might be, he was kind of the person that was focused just on sorcery, Louis has done a lot of content for sorcery because he really likes the game. And he's also brilliantly added, this kiosk system to his website that also works in his store through TCG Player for singles, and has done that for sorcery. And I'd say he's probably the largest source for sorcery singles. So, he's done quite a few great things. And like I said, he's closer to me than, say, Rudy is, obviously, because Rudy is just way up there. He's way even beyond what Diriams was. And Diriams was a huge influence on him, and that's why he created the Card Shop Life series, because it was a branch off of Diriams. And there were maybe a couple of other people before Diriams talking about investing in cardboard and stuff like that. But Diriams was really the one that started, how to run a game store. And a lot of us saw that, and they provided a lot of information, more information probably than even I would provide. A lot of, like at one point he showed the back end of his eBay and stuff like that, which is, it's not necessary, but it was extremely helpful, I guess. I don't really remember much of it now, and I don't even think the video stopped. You can actually go to their old channel and see some of their old videos that they still have up. Ask a card shop owner. A lot of that was really good. And then Rudy came along, and he kind of showed you the process of opening a store, but he had a lot more funding than a lot of us would ever have, because he'd done other things beforehand that fed into that funding. And he has this perspective of, you got to have 50, 100K in cash reserves even after all the opening and stuff like that, which a lot of us were never going to achieve that. And he would say that the risk is way too great. And he might very well be right, that without doing what he says, the risk is too great. But a lot of us want to do it anyway. And a lot of us, maybe just dream of it and aren't going to do it. Or, like, for instance, for me, if it fails, then it fails. I don't really care. I'm working full time. I'll still be able to have a job and still be able to, have retirement after it fails, if it fails. And if it succeeds, even better. And not to say that it's just a passion project, because I want to run it like a business, and I happen to enjoy being there. That's a bonus, and I think Rudy would appreciate that. Now, the other owners are at other stages of, what they've been doing. Some of them have been open for a decade, multiple decades, and have, are at the level of, I don't know about Troll and Toad, or if they're at that level, but they're doing fine, right? And they are moving a lot of product, and are, they have access to a lot of capital at this point, and they may not have put a lot in, and things have happened in which, there's a lot of rollover in sales, and they can get to the next set. And they've made some good decisions, maybe some bad decisions, but luckily it hasn't ruined them yet. So what I want to talk about, and I guess I'm rambling on this video, but hey, a walk and talk is kind of a rambly video. I'm asking if there's stuff that people want to know that hasn't been covered by these other people, or you haven't watched any of these videos. I can maybe answer the questions in a different way, from a different perspective, because my store's only been open since mid-August, and only recently, in the last couple of months, have I had a few online sales, and mostly in-store sales, and it's just enough that the profit covers the rent at this point, which is pretty great, considering the short time that I've been open. But are there other things that people want to know that maybe I am not going to consider when I make one of these videos? And I probably should have made one earlier, in the stages of me opening the store, but, there's a lot of stuff to do, and when you also got a job that, you're working 50 to 60 hours at that, and then you only have weekends to do your store, I get a little bit of help, but throughout the week, then, these types of videos are not necessarily the priority, however much I want to do them. But knowing that there might be people out there who want to see my responses to these questions, and, maybe they jog some latent memory in me about stuff I want to discuss that I haven't thought about yet, or even brand new things I hadn't even considered, that'd be great. So in the doobly-doo is some links to my stuff, and then in the comments below, just ask your questions, and if there's a lot of questions, then that's great. I don't actually get a lot of views on this channel, so maybe there'll be 0 questions, and then you might come along and watch this video and be like, oh, that's cringe, this guy is just he's talking to nobody. I may very well be talking to nobody. This might be a couple of years later, and someone sees this and wants to answer a question. I might make a video a couple of years from now based on questions, or I might just answer them in the comments. But in any case, check out the doobly-doo below, and then comment on the video, and just let me know what you want to know, or what you want to discuss, or just drop by and say hi. Thanks.